How's it going, everyone? I want to share with you today 3 of my favorite books on marriage. My wife and I, we've read all these books and we have loved them, and they really helped us when we were single, when we were dating, engaged, married. So I hope that you'll check these books out today. If you're married, I think this is a great, resource to read through some of these books together as a date night and talk about them. And if you're not married yet, I'd still encourage you to read these books. They're super helpful to help you decide, is marriage right for you and what your future could look like. So in no particular order, here's my 3 favorite books. So first up is You and Me Forever by Lisa and Francis Chan. What they do is a really great job in this book of asking the question of what's your relationship with God look like, and then looking at how that will affect your relationship with your spouse. If you've ever asked the question, how do I keep God at the center of my relationship, then this is the book for you. They say some pretty provocative things in this book, like the way to have a great marriage is to not focus on marriage at all. And what they mean by that is that marriage is great, but ultimately God is better. So if you want to have a great marriage, you need to have a great relationship with God first. They really emphasize in this book that marriage is temporary, but life with God is forever. So if you want to have a great marriage, you have to have the right priorities in your life. I really think that this is a great book to go through together as a couple, because every chapter ends with some discussion questions and also some to-dos to help prompt you to live out what you read in that chapter. So I hope that you'll check this book out. Next up is Sacred Marriage by Gary Thomas, and I absolutely love this book. It pairs nicely with his book called Sacred Search, which we talked about in our best 3 books for dating couples. And what we see in this book is Gary unpacks this idea of how our marriages are actually supposed to help us grow closer to God. He unpacks how in marriage we better learn about holiness and fulfillment and love and respect and having a servant's heart and knowing our mission and calling in life, and how marriage is how God often works in us to bring those things out. Something that I've definitely learned in marriage is that marriage in many ways exposes you, and it shows, the brokenness and the sin and the selfishness that's in your own life. And your partner is often a mirror for you to look at yourself. And something Gary talks about in this book is how marriage really is meant to be a tool that helps us grow closer to God. And just like the other book, this one has questions at the end that help you reflect on each chapter, and you can go through it with your partner to discuss more. The last one I'd recommend is The Meaning of Marriage by Tim and Kathy Keller. This book's amazing because it really digs down to what the root of marriage is. They talk about the mystery of marriage. It talks a lot about the scriptural references to marriage, and it comes out of Ephesians 5, a lot of the teaching. And Tim Keller is an absolute genius, and he really unpacks for us the question of, should we be married? What's the purpose of marriage? Why would we want to be married? And I think that's such an important question for a lot of us to consider that we often don't in the church. What I also love about this book is it's great for married couples, but it's also written for people who aren't married to read. So if you're single or if you're dating, this is a really great book because it unpacks that idea of, is marriage for you? And it also looks at questions like, what's the purpose of sex and intimacy and closeness? They talk in this book about how sex is actually a test of your marriage, and it often can help expose other parts of your marriage that aren't going well yet. So overall, amazing book, super smart. Tim Keller is just incredible. You gotta read, I think, anything that he writes. So I hope that you'll check this book out. If you're single, if you're dating, if you wanna be married one day, if you're already married, it's a great book. Hey, so I hope that you'll find these books really helpful, whether you read one of them or all of them. I hope that they'll really help your relationships now and in the future. Can I say a couple other things? Our church, we have something called the Marriage Course, and it's a 7-week video date night experience where you get to have some food together, you get to discuss privately about your relationship, and it's a great way to invest in and build a better marriage. So would you check out our website, or you can email us at youngadults@sanctuschurch.com to ask questions about when that's coming up next and how you can sign up. Also, another thing that I really love to share with you as a married couple, if you are married, is that one of the best things I really believe you can do is to find an older married couple to do life together with. You might not know maybe where to start, but a place where you could is in all of our young adult groups. We have something called spiritual parents. And spiritual parents are meant to be this older married couple that helps care for the group. And what you can do as a married couple in that group is ask them to either meet with you or maybe connect you with another older couple that they know in the church who could invest in your relationship. I think it's so helpful to meet and talk with another couple. And let's be honest, hopefully you have a great relationship with your parents, but it can be kind of awkward to talk about sex with your in-laws. So having that, third party to help you walk through the different challenges of married life together is just so amazing. I really can't emphasize how important and meaningful and helpful it was for Janae and I to have older couples in our lives. So I'd encourage you, please check that out. Just so you know, in the description of this video, we've got all the links to any of these books if you want to buy them. And I also hope that you know that you can reach out over email at youngadults@sanctuschurch.com, or on Instagram. You can DM us if you ever need prayer, if you ever need someone to talk to you about your relationship. We want to see beautiful marriages in our church, and I'd love to help support and pray for you in that. Thanks.